Green Arrow issue 21. Benjamin Percy writing, Johnny Faraya on art, and I am so glad to have Faraya back.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it?
His style is so widescreen. I love it.
And it's even more notable this issue with like every page for maybe like 7 in a row was just those double pages.
Yeah, most of the book's 2-page layouts. And the way it plays out is that across the top of each page you have what Oliver's doing. And he's basically just going to his dad's old secret base, and he's like searching there, and he's thinking about stuff as he's doing it, and he's surprised to find X, Y, and Z, and all the rest of it. And then, but the bulk of the story in the bottom of the pages, the bottom 2/3 of the pages, and it's a stormy night in Seattle. There's rain constantly. It's very atmospheric. Really big part of his art that works really well is how atmospheric it all feels.
I love the color shift between the top and bottom as well. The top is very blue and green, and then the bottom's yellows and reds with these certain greens that stand out.
It's hot and cold.
Yeah. Because it shows where he is, and then obviously a lot of the heat in the bottom comes from chaos. It comes from bad things, because it's all these villains. Cheshire, some others. Who's the bug guy? Do we know who the bug guy is?
Friars. He was the one that was on the train.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
He's a mercenary, isn't he?
That's right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And he got away at the end after the train crashed.
So we've got Cheshire, and she like poisons the pilot of a plane, so the plane comes down and it causes complete chaos. Then this other big guy punches out the foundation of a building. Brick. Yeah, and it tumbles the building down. And this is basically happening throughout this. We go through all these different events of all these things happen. We see the mayor kind of like threatening to kill this guy, this like other like councilman's son, if he doesn't go along with him on the policies. And like this is all building up to the end, and we see obviously Broderick at the end with his mask on, and it's all the ninth circle, and he's like, yeah, we're going to raise hell. And it's like when Oliver comes out at the end of the issue and he looks at the city, like there's all the fire from all these events are making the star on the city.
It's so cool.
So yeah, I love this issue so much.
That was a really great issue.
It's a fantastic issue.
Because we've
opening it up to see Cheshire back, who's a character that I really love.
I liked how her part was told as well. It was very intriguing because it was her like bumping into different people and affecting them.
Like it was like, okay, we see what she's doing, but we get piece at a time. We didn't know quite what the end game was until the plane just came down.
If you know the character, you know she's a master of poison.
Yeah,
right? That's her thing.
Yeah.
So you kind of think like,
oh you got what she's doing, but why these people? Like, what's the connection?
Yeah. But I like how it was handled at the airport, because you can only carry so much.
Because her story on its own just plays out as a good little story. Like hers on its own has a big ending, and it kind of plays on its own. Like you could have like after that page went back to just Oliver and like told the rest of the issue normal. It didn't.
But then you go to the next person.
Yeah, had all these other stories, but you could have done that. That'd have been fine on its own. But. No, I really like I say. I think for me the big thing here is this feeling that the night, like the city, is going to hell on this one stormy night, and like that comes through the art so well with all the rain and like even where Oliver is in his life, and he's been so melancholic. He's like, oh, the mistakes have been made, and like,
so what do we think of Oliver finding the mask?
Yeah, he finds a 9-circle looking mask down there.
Yeah.
It's not as scary as Broderick's mask. So I'm almost wondering if what's his dad's name?
What, Oliver's
I almost said
dad?
Harold. Yeah.
Oh god. Mr. Queen.
Anyways, if Mr. Queen was like part of an opposite group.
I am noticing Broderick's is very triangular. It's got these sharp edges and angles, whereas the one that Oliver finds is very rounded. But I love the whole 4 horsemen of the apocalypse thing at the end.
Yeah.
Like,
each of them kind of has that vibe to them with pestilence, with Cheshire, in death, in war. Like I'm sure you can find each one through their famine with Dominique, because he wants to cut off everybody late to the supplies. That's what that meeting was. Which also that's Percy again, thinly veiling current events through that thing, which he's really good at.
Yeah, he is.
But
He's gotten actually better at it, I think, because it's a bit more subtle now, whereas before it was very surface level. Which, you can have benefits to both, but I think I'd prefer it when it's a bit more subtle and it's just part of the story instead of, hey, look at this.
Yeah, you also, I think, like, the whole idea it sets up these 4 characters under him is the 4 horsemen. Because at the end of the issue says next the 4 horsemen, so it's really set these. Obviously you've got the star and all that. It's very apocalyptic imagery. I mean, it's not the actual apocalypse, but it really builds the Ninth Circle up as this evil.
It legit
force.
makes a pentagram though.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I think getting into this arc, we were almost thinking, oh, they're going to end up calling Seattle Star City at the end of this, and now I'm not so sure because it feels like Star City is purely a thing from the villain's perspective.
Yep.
Yeah, we were expecting this to be what Oliver did to redeem the city, where from his perspective that he was going to rise it to that level, whereas instead it's the villains dragging it down.
Yeah, and given that he feels the need to go on the run. Queen. I don't know. I seen that a minute ago. Yeah, I was waiting for the conversation before I.
Great issue of Green Arrow. I like this book a whole lot.
It really feels like now this is back on top tier after the maybe somewhat filler arc that we just had with Roy.
It's weird. It's doing this like pattern. I'm almost worried about the arc that comes after this. Like, are we going to have another small little thing? But then again,
I mean, if that's the price to keep the quality of these higher arcs as they are with these artists, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah, does this take us straight up to the road trip one though? Because the road trip one sounds like fun. So maybe we'll get 2 in a row.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe it's good. That's it. The road trip will still be a break from the city stuff because he's off on his way.
Yeah.
I'm just skimming through it again. I'm just looking at this. Oh, I love
it's just gorgeous, isn't it?
Book so much. I especially see the stuff near the start when Oliver's in the graveyard. It's like all the trees and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. And that's the other thing, of course, is I always talk about this with Fry, is his sense of motion. I'm just looking at the plane coming through the window.
Through the window, yeah. It's just incredible, isn't it? You feel how fast it was going, because obviously it's a plane.
Yeah, such a sense of speed.
Not just speed as well, but just the sheer weight of it as well. Like you can just see everything buckling under it. It's fantastic.
And all the people, too.
Yeah.
They don't have time to move.
So I'm wondering, you're speculating that maybe his father was a good, opposite side of the Ninth Circle. I don't know. I could see them going the whole he was evil and he maybe redeemed, and that's why he was so determined to be who he was. Or I could see maybe he infiltrated because he was trying to stop them, and that gives Oliver more of a reason to want to stop them as well.
I can see maybe what if Oliver uses the mask to infiltrate himself.
I can see that also happening. He's like, hey, Dana, I've got an idea. It's like, that's a bad idea, Ollie. Like, no. I've got it. I've got this.
Cool. I got this. Yeah.
I've got this.